Well, the president-elect has decided to move his transition team meetings from Trump Tower in New York City to Trump National Golf Club, that's in New Jersey. He's expected to spend the weekend there, meeting with Mitt Romney, Michelle Rhee, and General James Mattis. The move is heightening controversy over Trump's general disregard for press protocol. Since winning the election, access has pretty much been limited. More typical than normal. Kenneth Craig is in Bedminster, New Jersey. Kenneth, can you explain why this is such a big deal that the press is being left out of the loop whenever Trump moves around?
Well, Rena, this is concerning for a variety of reasons. First, as you know, this is really just the latest in a series of incidents where the president-elect has essentially tried to ditch the press pool that is in place to cover him. The latest happening just a few days ago, as you know, when the president-elect told the press pool there to cover him that he was in for the night, that there'd be no more events for the evening, and then he went out to dinner without the press pool, and they were left scrambling, jumping in cabs, trying to catch up with him. This press pool has been a matter of tradition for decades, a group of journalists and photographers in place to cover the president-elect and the president and their every move, their meetings, their whereabouts as they go through their presidency and through the events of the day and their presidency, Rena.
Kenneth, what can you tell us about the latest controversy surrounding Trump's transition team moving from Trump Tower to the location where you're at?
Well, this wasn't entirely a surprise, and from what we understand, the president-elect spends a lot of weekends out here at the National Golf Club, and so this was just another instance of him trying to do that. What was concerning, though, was again this perception that the president-elect was trying to limit the access of the press pool. And again, this is a small group of journalists, photographers, reporters who disseminate information to other media outlets, and we found out yesterday that they would be making no sort of accommodations for the press pool here at the golf club, and that the press pool was on their own, essentially. A lot of members of the press pool jumping in cars, jumping in Ubers to make their way out here, either behind or ahead of the president-elect. That has sort of shifted a little bit in the last couple of hours, and from what we understand, the press pool is now being accommodated, but they are staying at a hotel that's some 15-20 minutes away from here. Based on the last report we also got, the press pool will not be given any sort of access on the golf course tonight to the president-elect's moves, and there is some talk that they might be allowed on the course and in the club tomorrow to cover some of these very highly anticipated meetings. Originally, the understanding was that the press pool wasn't going to be allowed on the property at all, and of course that was a major concern for the journalists trying to cover the president-elect and trying to get that information to the public.
Okay, I wonder if the airspace is closed. Does someone have a drone, Kenneth Craig? Thank you.
There were some helicopters flying overhead earlier, sort of in anticipation of the president-elect's arrival. But as you know, with the president-elect visit or a presidential visit, the airspace within the next couple of hours and through the weekend will be restricted.
That's
so we
right.
won't even be able to get an overhead look.
Absolutely right. Kenneth Craig, thank you so much for joining us, Kenneth.
Absolutely.